how should influencers be treating the money that they make when they are full-time versus not? What would, like, we'll just jump into that.
I really like this question because it speaks to where a lot of influencers and content creators are. Very few people just decide one day, I want to be a full-time Twitch streamer, quit their job and just start streaming full-time on Twitch and hope it works out. Right? Very, very few people do that or even have the capacity to do that. You usually start by, I have a job and I'm going to stream in the evenings when I can, maybe 2-3 days a week, and expand that as it goes. So a lot of people fall into that. I'm a part-time influencer or part-time content creator, but I have a regular full-time job. And that changes things a little bit because then from what your saving needs are, yeah, you might have a little bit of supplemental income now. If you have just a standard salary job, you work 9 to 5 and you make X amount of dollars per year and you start streaming. And let's say you're doing pretty well streaming and you make an extra $5,000 that year from streaming. That's awesome. Except there's a couple of buts that come with that. And those buts are all taxes.
Oh, I love me some butts. Tell me the butts.
We know how much you love butts.
Also, the spider is back. So keep talking,
Run.
and I'm gonna fucking murder this thing. So
run, just
BRB.
straight run away from the spider. So if you're a part-time content creator, the whole deal with having to save from taxes is a little bit different. Yes, you're going to have to pay self-employment taxes, potentially on whatever income you make from streaming or ad revenue or whatever it may be, but it's a lot lower part of your overall tax liability than it is if you're just a full-time streamer. If you're a full-time streamer, it needs to be something that you're thinking about and planning from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. If you're part-time, yes, you should ideally be thinking about it that much, but it's not as important to be thinking about it that much. If you are, streaming 2-3 days a week and you're making 90% of your income from your normal job, you might still be able to do taxes on your own.
Yeah.
It might not require you saving all that much extra on the side to cover your self-employment taxes if the income isn't very high there.
Right.
That makes sense.
So there's kind of going to be a break point there when for everyone it'll be a little bit different where your taxes will start to get complicated or you'll be so far in the self-employment side making so much money from that, you really do need to budget out monthly. It's one thing to get to the end of the year and you go on, whether it's an online tool where you talk to an accountant and they say, okay, for your self-employment taxes, you owe $500. Okay, $500 is $500. It's another to get to that point and your accountant goes, you owe $15,000. Well, if you haven't been saving for that, you're in a lot of trouble. It's much easier to make $500 work than it is $15,000.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a break point there, and it'll be different for every single person. I'm just kind of generalizing, but for every person, they'll have that different point where I can't just make that work anymore. I need to save, whether it's monthly or maybe once a quarter, I put some money aside. It's going to be specific to you. Work with an accountant or work on estimating your taxes on one of the free online tools, but know where you stand. And if you're working on making that transition into full-time streaming, think about that beforehand. It might take you a year to get to that point, so start practicing from day one. If you really want to be a full-time streamer, assume from day one that you need to save taxes like that, and go and figure out what your total taxes would be and save that percentage out of whatever you get paid from Twitch or ad sponsorships or YouTube revenue or whatever it may be. The whole idea is know where you are and save as necessary.